Howdy tubers. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit tonight. Um, Not long because it's late and I got work to do. Excuse me, I do want to talk to you a little bit about how I'm feeling right now and where we're going. A week or so ago, I went ahead and had my electrolysis. And that's a fun experience if you've never done it. Um, I am, this is February, so 3 months out will be, let's see, May 4th, April 4th, March 4th. So March 4th will be 3 months before surgery. So that'll be the soonest that Dr. Crane's office will, um, the soonest they will try to get pre-authorization for the surgery. So about another month before I know for sure that it's happening. I am scheduled for June 4th, and believe it or not, I'm not having Dr. Crane himself do the surgery because he's busy. So I am having Dr. Santucci, who, if you go and look at all the history of Dr. Crane and how he learned to do what he did, Dr. Santucci is he is a gifted urology specialist. He specialized in urological reconstruction. So he's decided to join the practice. I'm not exactly sure why, but I've talked to him on the phone. He's kind of a cool guy. We've had a couple of email conversations. He seems to be at the top of his game. He's, of course, Texas trained, which I can't complain about at all. And he's he's the one that's supposed to do my surgery, so that's what I'm scheduled for. I'm okay with that. We had good conversations. He's still answering questions that I have. Um, I don't know if I answered this for you all, just to be clear. I am doing ALT phalloplasty, not RFF. So I'm not cutting my arms. It's not happening. I'm doing my thigh. And the reason for that is because I just can't, it's a personal choice. I just can't have a scar on my arm. I won't do it. Now, there are some challenges to doing ALT. And those who have done it will understand, and those who have not, here's a little information piece for you. ALT means that your penis will be thicker, it'll be bigger around. The most I've heard of is 6 inches all the way around in diameter, which frankly, if you put a little measuring tape together, it doesn't look that big, but I guess if it's hung on you, it does. Um, a lot of guys find that it's heavy, so they have to have what they call I think it's a Mons plasty, something about how they bring it back up so it's closer to your body again, something like that. So um, I haven't decided about the glands plasty yet. I'm not sure I want to do that. Still considering the whole business with the testicles and stuff like that, although I think I'm probably going to want testicles. And I don't know. I'm kind of terrified at this idea of hacking up my body. And every time I sit here and think about it, I just think about, like, I've seen guys who've gone through this, they've come out on the other side, their lives aren't completely destroyed, somehow they're functioning. I keep talking to people as much as I can, trying to find as much information. Ultimately, um, I won't know how I do it until I do it. And so that brings me to this point. I've had some additional emails from people about Dr. Crane and the lawsuits. I think I would like people to understand this as a lawyer and as somebody who's going to have surgery. Just because somebody's had a lawsuit filed against them doesn't actually mean they did something wrong. There are two ways lawsuits come to be. One is somebody decides that they didn't get what they bargained for. And sometimes that means they really didn't. And sometimes it means they're just looking for somebody to blame because they didn't listen. Now, there's an equal number of people on both sides that it happens to. And people who are truly wronged deserve to be made whole. But sometimes people who really weren't wronged like their body just did what it did or something happened and there was really nobody's fault, they collect too. They get to collect money because it is cheaper in the real world to settle a claim than it is to go to court. That's just reality. So because of that, I want just exercise caution when you're making a judgment about somebody's performance based strictly on the fact that there's a lawsuit against them. It's a really poor way to judge how well they do things. If you really want to test me on that, I invite you to go look up the number of lawsuits filed against Apple, Samsung, Microsoft, any big company you can think of. They have tons of lawsuits against them, in almost every state in the United States. And that's because people sue, sometimes when they really don't have a good valid reason, and companies settle because it's cheaper than taking you to court and winning the case. That's just the reality. Now, on top of that, back to this subject. The only thing other than that I want to share with you is this. I'm kind of at this weird place in my life where it's important to me that I find a place where I don't have to keep thinking about my body or anybody else's. And so surgery for me at this moment in time is that critical. I can't stop processing every day the difference between me and all the other men I work with. It happens in my head whether I like it or not. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm hoping that surgery will give me some peace from that. It won't be complete, but it'll be kind of like chest surgery. Like when I had chest surgery, every day I remember, like I would take a shower and I would think, oh my God, one day this is going to be flat. And is it perfect? No, I have scars. I'm not born that way, but I am that way now. But this is leaps and bounds better after all the pain and the healing than before. And so for me, lower surgery is the same process. I have got to find a place to be comfortable with me. And I know already, until I get this piece completed for myself, I can't be at peace with myself. So I'm going to try to make videos as I go along. So right now, as an update, I have done the electrolysis on my leg the first time. She tells me I'm going to have to do it about every 2 to 3 weeks until it's all gone. She thinks she can get it done by the time surgery comes up, but she's not absolutely certain. And the risk, by the way, if you're wondering, the risk of having hairs still growing out of your donor site is that those hairs will grow through your urethra and cause strictures and other problems. So you want to try to get rid of them as much as possible before surgery. The other piece is that I'm sort of on eggshells this next month, waiting for the insurance company waiting for Dr. Crane's office to put in for pre-authorization for the insurance, which they can't do until at least 2 to 3 months before surgery. So I'm hoping they'll do it come March. This last month went pretty rapidly. So there's a whole bunch of things in my life I need to get finished before I'm disabled for a while. And so I'm trying to get all of my stuff taken care of. And I want to try to start doing regular updates. So I bought a new camera, as you can see, and I want to try to do regular updates to try to keep you posted. I do want to document this in a more private environment where I can share it with you, and it's challenging. So if you have ideas about the best way to make that happen so I don't lose everything else in my life, please feel free to private message me. I would be happy to hear your suggestions or ideas. I want to share the experience because I am literally feeding off of other people's experiences, and it's critical. And at the same time, though, I have a life to maintain and I have to have an income and things have to work out for me as best as I can that way, just so I can be whole. Okay? All right. I will be in touch soon. Peace.